Hello YouTube, and welcome back to the channel once more. We're here, we've done it, it's the Princess Tutu finale episode 26. Very excited to be jumping into that, as well as some series wrap-up stuff, some overall thoughts, maybe some tier lists and that kind of stuff. I've also been requested to react to some AMVs, or an AMV, I'm unsure what I'll do there. All of that and more in this video right in front of you right now. I'm excited. It's time to close this thing out. And yeah, I guess mixed feelings into this one. Trepidation? I don't know. A lot of my stuff around Princess Tutu has been predictive. It has been looking forward. It has been trying to find the meaning in all of it. It feels like a lot of cards on the table right now. I'm willing and able to change my opinion on things, but I think I pretty much said a fairly decent thesis statement last week about what I think it's about, and I agreed with it. After I edited the video and thought about it some more, I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what this thing's about. So is this video here just really going to be affirming that and a bit more of a celebration of the show rather than us uncovering anything else super deep and having, I don't know, some gravitas to the conversations and whatever else. I don't know. We're just going to do it. We're going to see what happens. And to find that out, I guess we've got to start the video. And to start the video, we need the YouTube comments, of course. Now, I'll say the same caveat that I said during Mushi-Shi yesterday. It is astronomically hot today. It is the hottest day of the, I don't know, probably like 2 years, 3 years. It's a crazy heat wave here. So if I'm sweating, if I'm a mess, that's probably why. That window behind me over there, it faces east, and that's where the sun is. So my room just cooks. Anyway, none of you guys care. It's probably cold where you are based on my demographics, so sucked into me, I guess. I don't know. Lazy Joe, first comment here. Definitely on point about Princess Tutu's thesis statement as a show. As Ida was saying at the start of the show, may those who accept their fate be granted happiness, may those who defy their fate be granted glory. Which makes you weigh up either capitalized word here, right? Would you rather be happy or would you rather be glorious and successful and, I don't know, larger, greater than you once were? Think about it just from a base perspective of Tutu, albeit this can be applied to many characters within the narrative. Would you rather be a happy little duck who is happy within their own selflessness almost, right? Sacrificing their role, their ability, their status as a girl, their status as a loved one of this person that they've admired for so very long, and have happiness in that sacrifice, happiness in setting the one that you love free? Or would you rather maintain that status and stand right next to them? Be glorious, be that princess as opposed to that animal, you know? Yeah, that's the choice being made. And it's the choice being made by, again, every other character here. And I'm happy to see that they're landing on this side. I don't know, just makes me feel all warm inside and stuff. Episode 25, very good in that regard. Just that whole sequence with Fakir and Ahiru coming to terms with what they've chosen, and how it may not have been what they wanted in the very start, and it may not accomplish everything that they wanted for themselves, but it's ultimately the right thing to do. Yeah, just selfless characters, heroic, very cool. And yeah, you contrast with somebody like Drosselmeyer, who definitely chose glory, right? He didn't accept his fate, he didn't accept his death, he existed beyond his death. Glory was what awaited Drosselmeyer. Did that ultimately make him happy? Seems like a smiling kind of guy, but at what cost? I don't know, at what cost, I guess. And last comment here today from Glank. So excited for the finale. Apparently it's the best episode, or their favorite episode, and they totally nail it. I'll be the judge of that. Come on now. Don't sway me. Nah, but it should be good on all available evidence, you would imagine, right? So here's something I got wrong last week, and I never get anything wrong, so this is crazy. The piece in episode 25 that I analyzed was Tchaikovsky's Romeo and Juliet. It is instead Prokofiev's. Nailed it. They're Romeo and Juliet, which again, I'll get into in a second. But what do you mean it's not the Tchaikovsky? Everything in this show has been the Tchaikovsky. Anyway, I'm a little bit annoyed at that. I don't know. I guess you could listen to the music and have a base level knowledge of classical music that I don't know. I could have tried harder, I guess. The Tutu Wiki is apparently a great resource for this as well, but I'm forbidden until probably half an hour from now, and then I'll be okay. Specifically here, Ahiru and Fakir's dance comes in the 5th movement, Romeo and Juliet before parting, and specifically during the scene called The Last Farewell, where the two lovers have a final romantic pas de deux in the story before the tragedy. It's a lovely piece. Now see, this fits a lot better than you know, all the stuff that I waffled on about last week. This is way more direct and talks to that explicit scene, and also intertextualizes really well with Romeo and Juliet, right? The final farewell that these two lovers have, two lovers as well. Love that. But, you know, what happens in the end of Romeo and Juliet? They both die. This is the last dance for Tutu. This is the last dance for the night. These are these masks, these personas that they had that are now melting away and being, I guess, cast aside so that the prince can do his bit and finally end this damn story. Next up, Fakir burning the pages that came from his story from episode 23, I believe, just because he's a Sun. That's the theory here, which I tend to agree with. Cool detail, two birds come down to form Muto's sword in that episode 25. These are the same two birds that fly away in episode 13 when Fakir breaks the sword. Very cool detail, some nice holistic stuff within the show. Love anything that references back to that truly excellent episode 13. Loving here how much Drosmeier plans as well. You know, just always has something in store for Tutu, right? If Tutu doesn't buckle under despair with the final twist with her shard, then I'll force her to confess her love before the prince sacrifices himself in crow form. If that doesn't work, I'll prevent her from taking off her own shard, and she'll be forced to confess in order to disappear and leave the shard behind. He's a meticulous writer, he has many, many plans for Tutu, and she thwarts all of them because she is capital B based. That's why. And lastly, here we go into Fakir and his inability to write stories for anybody else but Ahiru. It is something that I noticed and others have, but it's not something that the show explicitly lays out. So it's like, well, why did they do it like that? Now, my theory here is obviously ship brain. I think that Fakir likes Ahiru, and that's what he's passionate about, and he's putting that into his writing. But Glyke goes a little bit beyond that. The power to write stories into reality and fit people into characters has been portrayed as a very negative, you know, thing throughout the rest of the show. Like, Drosselmeyer has been controlling everybody with his writing. That's bad. We don't really want... You know, if Fakir had the ability to write and control Tutu, that doesn't feel correct either, though, right? Like, that doesn't feel like something he should do, and he doesn't use it. Fakir, given the same exact evil power, can't bring himself to control people in the same way that Drosselmeyer puts it, right? Write irresponsibly. He can't do that. He's too much of a good bloke. But then what separates Ahiru? Well, I think it's how connected the two characters are and how closely they mirror each other. Fully understanding of Ahiru's goals and wishes, along with all of her feelings. It's a complete understanding of the selfless attitude that she holds, specifically towards Muto as well. And, you know, I know what naturally Ahiru would want to do in this situation because of how much we mirror each other, right? When he writes for Ahiru, the story in no way controls her. He doesn't force any of his own feelings on top of hers. Or if he did, subconsciously, those are the same feelings regardless. Instead of rewriting her, he is supporting her, he is enhancing her, and giving love and support, a truly selfless way to write, and truly in tune with his character. And they should also kiss. When they do the goddamn splits, what do you mean they didn't kiss there? Come on now. Anyway, that'll do it for the YouTube comments. I'm sure we'll have lots more yap about the show upcoming. But for now, let's thank the patrons. Thank you for supporting the series. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for the, I don't know, for the everything. I like Tutu, and I like talking about it with people, and I appreciate the people that have done that with me. However, this is not the end. Well, it is the end of Tutu, but there's going to be a new show. I don't know if I'm going to run a poll yet, which is probably something I should have figured out by now, but I haven't. I don't know, just spitballing. I want to do some movies, but I think I'm going to do the movies after Mushi-Shi, which makes me think, okay, I think I've got 2 things left on the wheel as it stands right now. Do I need to put more things on the wheel? Like 2 more shows, maybe? Maybe I do run a poll. Either way, you would have seen in the, you know, future past that I've done that or something. I don't know. Thank you, patrons. It's only $6 a month if you want to help and vote and stuff and shape the channel and whatnot. Also, if you're into your Musume or Mushi-Shi, those are up there 1 week early. Either way, here a very big thank you to Sean, Ace Lightning, AJ, Akumancer, Astivif, Ugdifif, Banana Ramahamadama-sama, Batero, Brennan M. Gibbons, Brett Jones, Capella, Chobo Copley, Cure Dynamic, Dakota, Dapper Dwarf, Diark Lord, Dorke Hyo, Eclipsing, Ed, Eric Algelius, Fancy Question Mark, Free Weekend, Fried Rice, Fruit, Gloria and Tenebrae, Glyke, Hans Peter, I Bailey, Ika, Iria, Yaka Yavanen, Jacob R, Jeff Solis, Joran, Kasogtha, Clem, Lexi, Lick H, Lou, Lupe Ferrugia, Maddock the Doppelganger, Matthew Mortlock, Mickey Babbers, Miru, Mistake L. Chen, Molly Weinberger, Mr. Maniacs, Nature Without Man, Noah, Parnick, Pencil Sharp 333, Pike, Rex15M, Ronlad BNK, St. Lily, Sal, Sam1373, Samuel Guerrero, SGM Jarnus, Shiny Haxorus, Skeleton, Tentacle Member, Terrence, Tobias Dahl Christensen, Waifu Overdose Without a Net, Binshi, Jamie Boo, Kelvin, BD422, Fluffy, Matthew Bratcher, and Ren. Thank you again for giving me money. I like the money. Princess Tutu, episode 26. What do I think is going to happen? I'm seeing something relatively straightforward. A fight between Muto and the Raven. The Prince and the Raven, finally. That story being ended. You'd think it's pretty, prototypical fairy tale stuff. Raven is defeated somehow with Ruin inside it. I don't know the details there, but I'm pretty sure we win. And Ruin, Muto get to be a thing over here. Potentially, again, on the other end, there's some flippy-floppy something. We get a happy ending for Tutu there, too. Or our hero, whatever you want to call her. Duck. Whatever tickles your fancy. And I hope that Fakir is involved there, too. Embracing her warts and all, so to say. Surely we must do something with Uzura and Edel as well. I'm unsure what form that takes. Is Drosselmeyer going to be defeated? What does that look like too? A lot to do here in 22 minutes or something. So buckle in. I'm excited. Let's jump in here to episode 26 of Princess Tutu, the finale. Right now, let's go. Radio, Princess Tutu, episode 26, the finale, up there ready to go. 25 minutes and 28 seconds on this one. Sync up accordingly with your own copy. I have that same old official version, picture-in-picture in the description below. Let's give this thing a 3, 2, 1. Radio, 3, 2, 1, go. Most certainly was. He's got all these bags too. Story just wouldn't move. Interesting. All the way back. Transcended her standing in the world. We'll see. But we do fight against such things. That's interesting. We just said tear jerking, and then I saw a lot of, water droplets fall onto, the lake there, so to say. It's actually, probably should have talked about that visual element more. There's definitely something to, like a drop into the water reverberating out into the theming of the series, One small change here can ripple out and affect everything. Are we going to play that, this opening during the finale somewhere too? That'd be kind of tight. Kind of like episode 13. I believe we played the opening over the credits there. Like the ending credits. Do-do-do. Boo-doo. Boo-doo. Duckling into Swan. Do 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 do. Goodbye, Princess Tutu opening. I hardly knew you. Oh yeah? Okay, man. He still thinks he has more in the tank. Finale. That says the Nutcracker. Okay. Qua. I have army of ravens for you to fight. What if the entire, like, last episode is just like a big, like, Sakuga fight? Hidoi. Oh, that's like one of Tutu's moves. Oh, because he's like got Tutu's heart shard now. Like, that kind of makes sense. The waves of rose petals. Yes. They make a compelling case. It's kind of giving you a tenner. But what can you do here at this juncture? Okay, Fakir with the clutch, the assist. We love to see it. Whoa! The pen snapped. He's kind of right. You gotta trust that pen, even though you snapped it. What's Azura doing? Someone? Who's someone? Oh, this guy. Yeah, okay. Sure. Oh, he's here to kill us? He's like, okay, the fucking apocalypse is happening. It's time to kill all the spinners. I'm trusting the process right now. That'll just reset things. Sick. Okay. You two are once again rhyming each other. This is just my headcanon. I think Drosselmeyer's breath would stink. Like, get away from me. Look at Azura trying to hold the door. Yeah, who's gonna help? Zetsubo. Oh no! Don't do the thing. No? Oh. I don't feel like that would be advisable. But it is very much like him, right? Self-sacrificing. What are we doing here now? Montage? Choo-choo. What is she doing? Oh, duck dance. Motherfucker, I'm gonna pas-de-deux as a duck. I don't need no damn form change. I don't need to be anything different to dance with the prince. Oh my god. Ugh. Alarm. I was about to say Rule be here. Yeah. Why is he so obsessed with tragedy? The animation's spectacular there. Love that scene. The toe shoes, for sure. Go on. Do your little duck dance. Oh! That's a weird thing. I love that too. It's almost like the dance is like transcended communication. Or like words for communication. Truly interpretive dance. Ooh, the music. Yeah, look at the duck dance. Hell fucking yeah. Fight against that fate now. Oh, it's like resonating with everybody. It had soul, ladies and gentlemen. Alright. Dude, the lighting there is so cool. Come on, keep on dancing now. Usura, I'm gonna need you to get out of there, buddy. Tossed around like a fucking red-headed stepchild. Oh, he's sick. Come on, Fakir. Where are we? Okay. I'm out here for blood. Yeah. He's kinda sick. Always love the show and its fades, for sure. Whoa, that's sick too. Zura, thoughts? Got anything for us? She's locking in even harder? Okay, Otu's kind of cool. Large swaths of this episode are just watching people get fucking dumpstered. Here we go. Look at everyone trying so hard, man. Get up. Come on now. Here we go. Hikari. My bosom. Yeah, brother. Yeah. fuck you. Siegfried! The power of hope. Give Rue a sword now. Jesus Christ. The pits of hell itself. It's like a rose shape. Where's Drosselmeyer? Where is he? Because we fucking did it. Oh, it's like everybody. Oh, hell yeah. I know where the story is? Where? Okay. Oh, she was at this clock tower before. I remember. I'm very smart. What the fuck? Oh. Well, it just freed everybody. I like her little bandages. Hell fucking yeah. I don't give a fuck. Probably. Fucking... Rue won out. She won the fucking lottery. Yeah. Bittersweet, though. For sure. Quoi? We're besties. Hell fucking yeah. I'm still waiting to see Drosselmeyer. Yes! Come on now. It is correct, Azura. Oh, look at this! Bye-bye. Happily ever after, everybody. Santa on his sleigh. I fuck with a happy ending. Sucked in Drosselmeyer. It's like I swear someone used to be here. Oh, those two. Hell yeah. See, he's Neko Sensei maybe? Marriage? Can my stupid friend stop messaging me? Where is he? Suck two fat ones. I wanted to do that for so long. Oh shit, he's become self-aware. Azura's here to beat your ass. He even gets a bit of a happy ending. Sure, why not? Oh, right back to the start. Oh, this is cute. Sure. Whatever you... I can't read that, but sure. Alright, that was great. I liked that a lot. I should probably do this AMV now and then come back and analyze some stuff. So hold out for this AMV. So everybody, this is Princess Tutu AMV Hold Me Now. Warning, spoilerific. Now, I don't know much about this. I'm not a huge AMV guy either way, but I've been told to watch this. I'm very susceptible to stuff like that, and I just want to see more Tutu. I think the most interesting thing before I even watched this like AMV is that it came out in like 2006, like June. So it's like 19-year-old AMV when the show was relatively, you know, contemporary. It's just cool as a bit of history almost, you know. AMVs have been huge through the late 2000s into that kind of the 2010s, the anime boom, especially the rise of you know, online video sharing like YouTube as well. So bit of history here, of course. But to be honest, I don't really know what to think. We're just gonna watch this sucker. And yeah, I mean, hopefully this is enough to sync up. You'll have the version with this in the picture-in-picture if you just wanted to watch that version. Probably a bit easier. I should probably link it in the description too. I wonder if I'll remember to do that. Anyway, here we go. We're gonna give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1. I should probably link it in the description too. I wonder if I'll remember to do that. Anyway, here we go. We're going to give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio? 3, 2, 1. Go. Tutu? Hold me now. Okay. Oh, the sync is already very good. What's that from? I'd never seen that. Oh my god. It's so gay. I want to see this like remastered. Some of the stuff they're doing here is legit very impressive for the time. Sick. And I miss sells the show as like a different thing. Remember, it is spoilerific. The song's German, I believe, which is fitting. This song's like the unofficial Princess Tutu theme now. That's sick. This almost like sells the show as a different thing. Like, if I saw this before going in, I'd be like, oh my god. What is this, like, action show? Sick. I mean, yeah, I fucked with that heavy. That was fucking cool. Like, more just impressive as a historical piece of like, oh, that was made when I was like 9 years old. That's it's very, very impressive. Song's cool too. I'm gonna have to check that out. I'll return. I don't know if it'll be later on now for some analysis on that episode and maybe some wrap up on the season as a whole as well. And we're back. It's just a little bit later on. I've sat down, cooled off a little bit, and now we're going in again. We're talking about the finale. I thought it was just swell. Great time. Did everything that it needed to do. Used its runtime well. Could have been a little bit longer. I am one for a bit of epilogue there, a little bit more than we got, but it does enough. I think they, again, use their time very well. On some level, I feel like it's very straightforward to the point where I don't know if I'll have all too much to talk about here, but I often say that and then end up talking for quite a long time. So we'll see how I go. Starting here, we have the Nutcracker. It's like full circle job. We're right back to the beginning. I believe this was the very first intertextual piece that we did with Tutu. It seems like it's a bit of a Tchaikovsky double feature as well, because we have obviously Muto there saying that I am Siegfried, who is the guy he's the prince from Swan Lake. But yeah, we're bringing in a lot of the elements of both of those, mixing them together. Big old stew. Of course, Drosselmeyer, the namesake there being a famous character from the Nutcracker. Very cool. Hey, look at this. When the owl-topped grandfather clock strikes 8, a mysterious figure enters the room. It is Drosselmeyer. Hey? Grandfather clock? That's pretty cool. And then, like we've talked about this, he makes the dolls, and the dolls come to life. And what if the dolls became unruly to the point where they transcended Drosselmeyer? It's the plot in essence, basically. I think that I have perfect control over these things based on my status as the toy maker, as the creator of this story. I don't. They rebel against it, much to my dismay. Even in the end there, he's pretty chill about the whole thing. He's just like, me and Azurda, we're gonna go haunt some other story, I don't know. Also really like this in combination with that line towards the end where Drosselmeyer's like, wait, maybe I'm a character from a story as well. It works on two levels there. Obviously, we're watching a piece of fiction called Princess Tutu, in which Drosselmeyer is a story, so it's very fourth wall. But it also could just be referring to the Nutcracker, where, you know, Drosselmeyer's already a character present there. A couple of other references here are fun. Obviously, again, I'm not an expert. There's probably more that I'm missing out on here, but there's the part where, you know, he's fighting against an army of potentially, you know, animal-type creatures and trying to fend them off and stuff and being all heroic there, that being Muto, inhabiting that role of the Nutcracker. That clash between the Mouse King and Muto himself, probably reminiscent of the Prince and the Raven, you would say. Clara, who is the main character here, similar to Rue potentially, caught in the middle of it. By the very end, Land of Sweets, all that other kind of stuff. Final waltz is performed by all the sweets, after which the Sugar Plum Fairy ushers Clara and the Prince down from their throne. He bows to her, she kisses Clara goodbye, and leads them to a reindeer-drawn sleigh, which also happens during our finale. So yeah, again, we're using this piece insofar as using a few elements of it that I've mentioned, as well as this general theme of, I guess, transcending Drosselmeyer, which is, you know, present in the Nutcracker. We did it, guys. We're happily ever after, you know. We made our own story there rather than just Drosselmeyer doing everything that he wants. But broad strokes about, you know, what I saw here, positive on it. I think it's great and stuff. I love all that stuff through kind of this section where, you know, it's very people power. It's very like Ahiru embracing her own weakness and who she truly is and using that like undying amount of dedication and hope to inspire all the townspeople, which inadvertently helps Muto. I like Fakir using his talent in that process as well. His raw emotion at having to write for Ahiru once again, him finding success when he, you know, puts it all on the line like that. Now, I'm selfish. I'd like to see, you know, Fakir and Ahiru together. They are kind of together by the very end. That's probably my only real misgiving, if I had one, that this isn't quite as romantic as I would like it to be, but that's okay. I'll live. It just all works well. And while I'm here too, this section with Rue is fantastic. Probably one of the highlight scenes, once again bringing forth that Dance Macabre theme that we mentioned last week, I believe. As well as, and if you know, you know, give me Revue Starlight a little bit, especially that TV anime ending, for sure. But instead of being super gay, this one's super straight, so jury's still out, I guess. I don't know. We'll dive back through here. I'll say what I need to say, and yeah, we'll give some wrap up. Once upon a time, there was a man who died. The man tried to keep spinning a story even after his death, but the story just wouldn't move along. The man lost patience and called a duck into the story. The little duck tried her best for the prince, and eventually she transcended her standing in the world and came to love the prince. However, she was only a duck. She was fated to someday turn into a speck of light and vanish. Yes, that was the tear-jerking ending the story had decided on. Very, very cool. So, one thing I do like, now looking at the story holistically, I like how we don't have a cop-out for Ahiru. What we say here is true. She doesn't have her cake and eat it too. She genuinely sacrifices something in attaining this happy ending. She sacrifices her Tutu abilities, she sacrifices her form as a human girl, and it leads to the happiness of everybody involved. That is in combination with her effort to dance the pain away and to become that symbol of hope as well. It's all great. What a hero. Very, very selfless, inhabiting all those Prince qualities in such a positive way. The main theme you would say here of the final episode is embracing who you really are. And, you know, I don't need to aspire to be something that I'm not in order to fit somebody else's arbitrary view of what I should be, right? So to zoom it out of the story, take it in real life. I don't need to change who I am fundamentally to something else to attain happiness. And what even is happiness anyway? Is that only being deemed to me by some other higher power, some other force? The theme is you do you. And if you do you and you dance your own song and dance your own way, even albeit not perfect, you will find happiness in the end. And if we all do that collectively, we'll find a collective happiness in, you know, being ourselves. That's a nice summary of what I think we're trying to get across there. But yeah, mostly of all, she is a duck. She's a duck deep down. It's what she is. She quacks and doesn't dance so good and use the toe shoes and do everything else, but she's still able to change the world, you know? So that's cool. That's some storytelling, baby. There's some interesting tidbits there too about Drosselmeyer inserting this whole duck, Ahiru, Princess Tutu side of the story to get the story going again. As we've seen throughout the runtime, she is integral to spinning those cogs. If she's not in the story, it's not running as well. And I've got to feel like I'm repeating myself a lot because I felt like I was on the right track last week and the week before and stuff when I first started to get a real grasp of this, right? Drosselmeyer and his storytelling runs on tragedy. Tragedy is conflict. Conflict is needed for stories to be perpetuated. It is the thing that is lubing up them gears, you know, greasing them. Happiness in stories is at most only a couple of lines at the end. There's nothing to expand upon once a character is happy. I need to keep the tragedy, keep the struggle, if I want to retain power in this world. Something that I'm, you know, I want to do. It's his motivation. So at every step of the equation here, we're trying to stop our happy ending. He's actively fighting against his characters, looking for an out. And that sucks. We hate Drosselmeyer. In some ways, I'm a little bit disappointed that he doesn't get punched more. I'd like him to get punched, maybe. I don't know. How do we feel about his ending, where he just kind of gets to walk off into the sunset with Uzura? There's definitely some metaphorical stuff there, right? Because Uzura is Edel, and Edel's being associated with, you know, reality, I guess, the true order of things, the natural order. So as long as the natural order is there to keep him in line, maybe he'll be okay. Uzura's cracking the whip, making sure Drosselmeyer doesn't try to play God again. Maybe tries to guide him back into his natural story. Maybe he escaped from some of the story as well and is wreaking havoc. don't know, it's hard to say. I guess if he's off with Uzura, he's probably safe. That's fine. I just don't want Drosselmeyer to be at large again, I guess, because he's a bit of a stinker. But yeah, this is Drosselmeyer's motivation. Keep the characters sad, don't let them satisfy their arcs, and I'll remain. So what he has set up here is the greatest tragedy of them all. This is what we watch Fakir and Ahiru struggle against most. And I guess Muto, but again, he's more a conduit than anything else here at this point. Like this piece of imagery too, of the two cogs closing in, feels like a mouth closing as well. There's all that stuff about like swallowing Rue as well that's probably tied up into it. Feels like the jaws are shutting. It feels like that gap is closing. You know, we're trapped within now. It's time for the tragedy hour. So, one thing here didn't really go as I expected it to go. I thought it would be more of a fight between the Raven and the Prince, as, you know, as advertised to the Prince and the Raven. That's the name of the story. It's more the Raven as a concept and how it affects the rest of humanity that we're fighting against, less than a direct battle. There is some stuff at the end. Obviously, again, he's still talking through the whole thing. There's a bit of like when he's on the kind of flower elevator. But yeah, it's more the words that he's saying and how they influence humanity as a whole. So I guess that is a little bit disappointing, but it's also where the episode gets most of its punch. You know, there is, you know, Raven's blood within all of us. There is an evilness there. There is a despair. There's a to and a fro. But hope wins out in the end. Hope breaks those shackles. We are both able to descend and ascend. We are in control of our own destinies. Yeah, very, very cool. I like Muto's confidence as well. You are to take a girl that is tainted with Raven's blood as your princess. Yeah, sure. I accept her warts and all. Like those lines there at the end as well. I too have some of the Raven's blood. We all kind of have some of the Raven's blood deep down within us, right? So like, nobody needs to be picture perfect. We can accept people for what they are, for all sides of them. It's a good moral. I like that. Just repeating myself here, I love the live theater elements of the show as well. It feels like each and every one of these people are in a costume right now. It feels like I'm watching it up on a stage. Like that's really one of the show's calling cards. It's one of its, you know, trademarks. If you were to remake Princess Tutu, you would need to keep this element, I think. Even some of the costuming as well, loving the leotards that we see all the ravens in here, all the male ones, because, you know, they're on stage performing. It's a ballet, damn it. And just looking at it here, like, our hero is so very out of place, but in, you know, having watched the episode now, that's also the point. She's not meant to be here. She's just a duck. She shouldn't be here during the climax of our story, our tale. But her and her dancing and her motivation was the thing to inspire us and save us, you know? It's just classic. It's that moment, you know, where the actions of the smallest and weakest of us inspire us to victory, you know? Giving Lord of the Rings a little bit. We got a little hobbit here in the battlefield. But they do amazing things. They transcend what they've been given through their sheer determination. Shout out to Ahiru the Hobbit, I guess. In having absorbed that final heart shard representative of Princess Tutu, we see some new abilities for Muto here as well. He's able to spin and generate this big old cloud of petals, that thing that we saw in the first episode that is synonymous with Tutu. So again, the power had to go somewhere. Went to the big guy. Love to see it. Once again, if Muto has the power, Ahiru does not. That does not invalidate Ahiru and her influence on this final encounter. She never needed Tutu in the first place. It was all deep down within here, you know? I did joke as well that, you know, what if this whole episode was just like a fight between the Prince and the Raven with like excellent animation and not much else going on? Kinda. We kinda got there for sure. It's more just praise the animation. I think it's very, very well done. Smooth cuts all within here. I still think the highlight animation-wise within the show is in episode 13, I think, but this stuff's no slouch, man. It's quite excellent. As I've said before, I do think a lot of this episode gets its charge from corruption of the townsfolk, of the people. It speaks to a universality of humanity, in my view, right? Like, again, there's a raven in all of us, and we are bound by our fate. If this is what the higher powers are telling us to do, We will get in big circles and gang up on the one person that's trying to change it, you know? It's that emphasis on individuality instead of groupthink. I think that's a big part of what we're doing here, you know? And inspiration from these sources to think for ourselves. Like, this is a group of people that are resigned to tragedy, that are resigned to not striving for anything better. And Tutu argues against that. That's very strong in my view. I like that as a concept. It makes me feel good about being like a human with autonomy. Fakir's role shouldn't be diminished either. He's very good here. I like his steadfastness in staying with the pen. There's a point in the episode where he sees that Ahiru's struggling and wants to go out there and fight with his sword and descend back into that useless knight type role. He's not allowed to, really like auteur in that regard as well. He actually came up pretty clutch this episode for sure. But yeah, using that pen ability, writing about that thing that he knows best in Ahiru, just a sight to behold. Like specifically here in this sequence, Ahiru's getting tossed around and Fakir snaps his damn pen, struggling to write the words. This shows the unification of both of Ahiru and Fakir's struggles, right? And how hard it truly is to fight against fate and what we have been given, you know? It's no easy endeavor. There will be pain and suffering along the way to both ourselves and the people that we hold dear, but we need to hold steadfast regardless. Try even harder, double down. There's some better shots of it later as well, but I like the bandage on Fakir's arm in telling that part of the story. The blood, sweat, and the tears, it's from him stabbing his own hand to prevent him writing whatever Drosselmeyer wanted him to write. It's this reminder of the pain and struggle, you know, that the pain in what we're trying to do. It's no easy route to it, you know? Now, what do we think about Axe Guy? He's fine. I think it does okay at upping the tension in the Fakir type scenario. It gives a little bit more of a ticking clock there. Once again, when he breaks inside and starts swinging the damn thing, Author's really cool. I like, him going for the hands and then saying, no, screw it, the hands are not enough here at this stage, I need to just murder you. The axe swing also cutting the page that Fakir was writing on. All that stuff's pretty strong. I'm iffy on it. I don't know. I don't feel anything for this guy. I don't know why he has such a prominent role in the finale, if I'm honest. Other than, again, just like, no, this is too dangerous. This is affecting the story. Let's cut you off at the source, like we should have cut off Drosselmeyer at the source, you know. The hands weren't enough. That as well, I wish Uzura had more to do. I guess she's already kind of had her hero moment during that episode 23 when we were turning back time. And she said her tear for goodbyes already. I don't know. I like Uzura. She's cute. I wish she had a more prominent role. This is where Muto brings up an interesting point. The struggle is too much, so let's reset, basically. Let's bring back the status quo. I'll pierce my own heart once again, shatter it, in doing so sealing the Raven. Is that his only choice here? Is it only to revert back to the way he was? To lose, his heart and every other emotion there in the process? Is the only true way that I can fight against fate just bringing it all to nothing again, leveling the whole thing? I guess Muto right here, right now is saying that, okay, this is me and fully all of me by myself. That's not enough? Okay, man, let's just eliminate everything. It's a very scorched earth type approach, something that Ahiru dances against during her scenes here, right? If she can make it on her own as a duck, you can make it on your own as the prince, right? You can believe truly within your heart what you want to happen and make it happen. This also has tangibility too, because like Tutu, Ahiru like literally brings in all the people that are against him at the moment, brings them all over to her side, which allows him a free run at the Raven. Once again, just zooming all the way out, this is also what Drosselmeyer wants. If we reset this thing again, go all the way back to episode 1, even possibly before it, he just gets to be in power for longer, which is his ultimate goal here, you would say. Another cycle on the damn story, another rotation of the gear, rotation of the clock. It's what he wants. We want to fight against that. Drosselmeyer, fate, all that stuff. We then pan to Fakir and Ahiru, who are both like, shit, I'm pretty powerless here. Muto's gonna have to pierce his own heart again? I'm just a bloke with a pen? I'm just a goddamn duck? How the hell are we supposed to do anything here? This is exactly what Drosselmeyer wants, that despair. Even though you transcended your position as a duck and tried so hard, you still find yourself limited by your form. by your destiny, you know? Without me, you are nothing. No matter how hard you try, the more you struggle, the more tragic it will become. That's why we gotta believe. We gotta believe and hope in our characters, Drosselmeyer, so we can overcome the tragedy that you've made for us. Our goddamn creator, whatever you've made for us, we'll strive against it. Love that line there from Drosselmeyer as well. The greatest tragedy of all is one that even has no ending. Like, contrasted against Romeo and Juliet, which we've done quite recently, right? At least that's a tragedy that has, like, finality. There is a lesson learned by the end. There is a point to the story. Tragedy, just for tragedy's sake, with no moral at the end? Now that's a sick and twisted idea, Drosselmeyer. Come on now. Muto's idea here, in piercing his own heart, is... I don't know. It's that self-sacrifice stuff again that we've seen from him time and time again. You know, he's willing and able to put himself out for the betterment of somebody else, normally a small creature of some sort or, you know, some other variety. He says here that, you know, if I pierce my heart, it at least gives me an opportunity to kill you again in the future, and once I have done that, I'll be able to end my own life and meet the princess in heaven. This is the wrong answer. This is what you should not do. In trying to fight against your fate and break it, you do not end your own life. There is no glory in the afterlife in such a way. Thinking in such terms is defeatist and not something that we advocate for as our hero. It's also very Drosselmeyer coded. He was happy enough to be the man who died that had a happy ending in the afterlife. That's not something to aspire to, you know? Like, it's definitely the wrong answer. And even just on a narrative level, him ending his own life here would invalidate all the struggle that we've put into it up till now. It's not what we want. We've had 26 episodes, I don't know, like 10 hours? Something like that? 10 hours of struggle? We want to see something conclusive at the end, you know? Great spot for a montage too, as we reflect on the struggle, all the things that we've done with Muto to make him the man that he is today. Bringing up all that investment, leading to this final yell, this proclamation from our hero for him to stop killing himself. This is gonna sound weird. Some of the character acting on this duck is damn good here too. Very well animated show. It kind of talks to this theme that we have in this episode too of actions and, you know, dancing and so forth, transcending the language barrier, transcending speech, truly embodying actions speak louder than words. Everybody here perfectly interprets what this duck that they can't understand is trying to get across. Of course, then piled on top of when she starts dancing, everybody sees the inspiration in that and the hope demonstrated. That, again, we have internal power despite our circumstances. I don't know, it's a fuck you to Drosselmeyer. I transcended the need that you know, you gave me for a human form. And, like, you thought that I needed a human form and a super ability to affect this story. Nope, just my pure will can affect the story as well. In my own way, I am my own writer. And what does our hero think that she's going to do now that she's not Princess Tutu anymore? I don't care. I'm still gonna dance. I'm still gonna do that same old thing, because I'm still me. To me, this feels like that classic, like, hero's journey moment that you see in a lot of stories where the protagonist's power is taken away and we see what truly shone through was their spirit, right? Who they were as a person. Very superhero story coded, you know? Like, even without the power, I'm still out here saving people because it's what I want to do. With great power comes great responsibility, yes, but even beyond that, I'd still have a great responsibility to do the right thing. You know, it's not just kind of, you know, predicated on the power. Spoken about this scene some already, but once again, it's just a stunner. Right after that ad break, Rue kind of dancing by herself within the vast abyss of the Raven's stomach, right? The Raven, representative of death and despair, this being representative of all the lives that he's touched negatively with his presence throughout time. They're all dancing along to that same tune, Dance Macabre type theming coming back again. No matter our background, we're all, you know, consigned to the same fate. It's a representation of hopelessness, and again, something that we're fighting against with Tutu, our hero, and her dancing down below. Even though I in here have the form of an actual human, and all the power in the world, and all the importance in the world as a character, I'm still struggling. Our hero down below, none of the above, fighting for it. You know, the haves versus the have-nots a little bit, and what truly matters is the spirit within. In the dialogue here, we're also talking about, like, in the same way that the background is vast and empty in this, like, stomach desert that she's in, and monochromatic, like I should eliminate all emotion. No love, no hatred, no nothing, just no emotion. Isn't that very similar to how Muto was very early? You know, very susceptible, very manipulatable, malleable with these emotions. It'd be the same as resetting everything to take on this kind of philosophy. It's what we're striving against as our hero. No, this isn't the answer. I know there's no struggle against light and dark here, but there's no struggle at all. What's the point? Drosselmeyer commenting here as well that Rue is the perfect personification of what he wants, just eternal suffering for these people. No forward momentum, just this continuous blech. This is what he wants for everybody. Also something to the dancing as well, obviously, again, like flapping those wings despite a human form. It is useless. It is like futility given form. Which is, yeah, how he wants everybody to feel, to lose that hope. And despite that, we have a duck here, no toe shoes on, no nothing, spotlight on her, she's the star. Watch her dance and break free of this. This is reflective of the same process that Princess Tutu has gone through with a lot of these characters in this town over the course of the show. Albeit the scale is astronomical, it's not one-on-one anymore, as Tutu used to do, and, notably, not Tutu. Despite on every level this, logically should not be working, it does. It does for her. Just on sheer belief and will and gumption. Representative as well of everybody remembering their true selves. I'm dancing here as my true self without my mask on anymore. Tutu was that mask. It's just me now. Is that not inspiring to everybody else to take off this Raven persona as well? And to become themselves once more. Let's treasure our own feelings and not the one that someone's decided on for us. Fakir with the assist as well. It's true that her dancing was not as beautiful as Tutu's, but it was overflowing with powerful emotion that shone a warm light on the hearts of the people who saw it. Once again, Fakir's writing ability being activated by writing about our hero. Even something maybe a little bit here, like crows like shiny things, the hope of our hero there, so very shiny to the point where it draws them all in. It's like part of their nature deep down. There's some significance there. This is when the Raven gets pissed and doubles down on the darkness. And yeah, things go pretty south. I guess the hatred and despair of humanity does have a little bit of a kick to it. But yeah, as I said before, this gives the distraction we need for Muto to go off and do his thing with the Raven too, and live his part of the tale without the distraction of the masses. Just this technique that I've always loved with the show here as well. Loves the fade and building meaning through it. Like fading from, like, our hero's struggle here over to Fakir struggling, writing things down. It's not an easy road to take. There is pain and suffering and hurt as we, participate in this struggle. But we do win out in the end. If we do try hard enough, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And then this schmuck as well. He's very much like, no, it's dangerous. If you're using that same power system that got us into this mess in fighting against it, you're just as bad. So basically, this guy sucks. I don't like this character very much. The bookmen, you can keep him. That's fine. Author does have his moment here, though, which we like to see. Warning Fakir, fighting against it. I don't know. Just... believing in the power of storytelling still a little bit, literally using a book to fight against him. When we've been taking these endings out, I don't know, there's significance there, 100%. Yeah, dude, he really fucks him up here. Shout outs. As you can maybe see here as well, I'm struggling to find things to talk about. It's remarkably straightforward. It really is. Just believe in yourself and try hard. I don't know, man. It's not bad, obviously. It's just the finale. There's only so many times that I say that struggle is difficult, but you should do it regardless in fighting for your own freedom. Like, it's pretty obvious stuff. I guess I like Fakir's tears here a lot, and how much he truly believes in Ahiru and what she's trying to do, and how much it aligns with his own emotional needs as set up in the plot, as set up in the narrative. It talks to a level of, genuineness in Fakir's writing as opposed to Drosselmeyer's, who's very flippant and very what did he say last week? Kind of like careless. Like he gets out of his comfort zone a lot more. Like it speaks to, for me, like the power in speaking your own truth and not just using power willy-nilly that I have it. Just because I have it, I'll use it. Even though it's difficult, even though it's not the easy road to take, I'm still just going to believe in these things that I believe in and stay true to those, and that'll give me the power to fight as opposed to what Drosselmeyer is doing. And there she is, no matter how painful it was, she kept dancing without losing hope. And yeah, I do like how holistic this is with the entire series. We start here with the question of, I want to dance with the prince and change the world and affect things, but I'm just a little duck. Like, we end on the little duck inspiring the change. Like, she never needed to change in the first place. She never needed this thing that Drosselmeyer was selling in order to be relevant. It speaks to the power of individuals when fighting against larger institutions. And there she is, power flowing, glow happening from deep within the duck's body without ever running out. Hope spread forth. Oh, look at this. We like project out like a Ahiru with wings, like a Tutu. Like, I don't know. Muto here says that same shine is the same shine that I felt within me whenever Tutu did some shit. You know, the same draw that I felt towards her. I don't know, it just speaks to Ahiru living the embodiment of Tutu and what she represented, even without the heart shard, even without the quote-unquote power system. And then, yeah, sucks to be you, Drosselmeyer, falling out of your chair. We won regardless. We beat your fate. And there's the prince, Prince Siegfried. I call the name of the princess Rue. It's holy peak. Love this shot here. It'd be a great thumbnail, actually. Yeah, from the abyss, from the darkness, from the grayscale, we roll in here and we save Rue and bring her towards the light, finally ending that struggle within you between that light and that darkness, that human, that raven, that prince, that raven. We save the princess. Lovely. Super significant moment for Rue as well. Muto coming down here and saying that I chose you on his own volition, fully himself, not under the control of any other person. Like, that has to hit pretty hard for you, right? Like, that's what you've wanted the entire time. I'm not chosen for some cynical reason from some higher power, for some other ulterior plan, right? He chose me for me. She likes me for me, as that one song says. And yeah, I mean, we fight all the fucking ghost clouds and stuff and pierce the heart of the raven, which suspiciously looks like a rose to me, but I'm probably just seeing things. This is astounding visually. Love this whole sequence where we're floating up. Once again, like using Tutu's power to lift us towards this final goal as well. That hope in those flower petals giving us that final push. I believe we do see Rue here hold the sword a little bit as well. I think that's her fucking arm. I don't know. It feels like the power of Fakir, the power of Ahiru, the power of Rue, and the power of Muto all working together in this final strike. And the story ends, the fucking Death Star blows up. This here giving Madoka a little bit, actually. Just a touch. I don't know. I'll put up the thing. A little bit, right? Loving this as well. It's only a small cameos for all these characters, but you know, all these townspeople that had their own problems could have fallen into despair, could have fallen over to that raven side, all purified, once again, through Ahiru and her actions. Only this time, she didn't need Tutu to do it. She did it on her own accord. It also just helps the show feel really whole. A lot of these episodes were episodic, but I like to see these characters come back at the end. It makes the journey feel super worthwhile. It reminds me of all the things that came before. Love these two as well. We even get one last sassy Lily. And pondering Neko-sensei. Love, love, love it. What do we think about all this? So, we might remember that Uzura ended up in the top of the clock tower upon the end of that episode 23, when it was like that connective point between, you know, that place out of time where Drosselmeyer hangs out above everything and the, you know, story down below, the town and the castle and the everything. It's only natural that after Uzura turned that crank so many times that she fell down back into the story at this point. That's all very cohesive to me. It also explains how Drosselmeyer was doing all of this. You know, in the same way that Fakir was writing his story in this realm that came to life, there kind of also needs to be a tangible story within this realm for everything to make sense. This is that transition point where Drosselmeyer was doing it all. It's a little bit fantastical, but it works for me. And I hope you like it as well, because it's basically all the epilogue we get. Not all that much there, you know. So then Fakir rips the story apart. He's like, fuck this shit, Drosselmeyer, you will write no longer. Everybody else is now in control of their own fates, and the rest of the gaps I'll just fill them in. That's kind of what we see at the end, where Fakir's riding on the lake with our hero and stuff. You know, I've kind of become the new Drosselmeyer in a way, but like a better Drosselmeyer. A Drosselmeyer that writes with, you know, genuineness and truly to people's character motivations. Basically, like, lets them live. Writes with responsibility as opposed to recklessness. You know, a bit of order to things. And yeah, this is where we see our couples separate as well. These two over here, very normal. These two over here, not so normal. You know? Once again, I'd love a bit of space here to expand all these things out. It feels like just a bit truncated. I'd love more expansion on what the prince has to say here. Because essentially, once again, he reiterates, like, hey, Rue, I choose you. Which, again, is what she wants to hear. But then he's like, oh, I might have still some of the raven juice inside me that's corrupting me because, you know, instead of loving everybody like I'm supposed to as, like, this monarch, as this prince character, I love Rue most of all. Which, again, she loves that. It's exactly what she wants. And then Fakir's here like, buddy, that's how normal humans operate. That's... You're doing it. You did the thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with choosing a one and only and not being all things to everybody. Like, that's fine. You should love everybody, but it's okay to have one love above them all. It's okay to reciprocate one's love above all. You did it. I don't know. Once again, like we spoke about last week, love the tears of Ahiru here, the acceptance that she wasn't chosen, and her happiness for the other people here, you know? It is tragic a little bit that we don't get to hang out a bit more. It's more just like this tearful goodbye and these hugs as friends, you know? We don't get to live out our schooling together or anything. It's just, you guys go off in that sleigh and we're going to stay here. I don't know, I guess they'll never forget each other. There's a bond there, but I don't know. I want them to live happily ever after together. Like, all together. That'd be... It's bittersweet. But once again, there is sacrifice in getting to this ending. That's what that sacrifice is. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I just like the characters and I want them to be together though. Finally, some kissing though. Jesus, we've been waiting. And yeah, this is very storybook. This is very fairy tale. You know, the dress manifesting. She's been chosen as the princess. The white color scheme as opposed to her normal, you know, clear black. And off they go in their swan-led sleigh. Off into the sunset. It's like the end of Greece. Once upon a time, there was a man who died. He was meant to write this brilliant tragedy. However, the story had an unexpected happy ending. Thank you, our storyteller friend. We see this Ahiru-esque glow on the rest of the town as hope spreads. We've won the day. Darkness did descend, but light emerged. No more grayscale. No more... you know, Drosselmeyer controlling things. There actually is a town outside of this town now as well. Good. What we want. And yeah, the thing that tipped the scales there being one tiny little duck that the man himself put into the tale. Changed the story for the better. What a goddamn hero. A little bit tragic here that Ahiru is now missing from these two's lives, but I don't know. They don't seem to mind too much. Like, oh, there should have been someone here, but now there's not. Oh well. There's a few other references here. I believe this is to animal characters. Like, this is Armadillon, I believe his name was, who are now just normal characters. Auteur's still the same. It's nice to see that Hermia and the other fucking bloke, I forget his name. It's nice to see that they're still a thing. Good at epilogue stuff. Even Neko-sensei, now properly a cat, seems to have a wife that he presumably married and 5 kids. 6 kids even. Busy boy. Happy ending for Neko-sensei. Look at these two. That's good. Screenshot that. That's very lovely. Shoutouts. Shout out. Rue deserves it. Fucking Rue deserves it, for sure. And there's Drosselmeyer. Sucker fat one, as I said. He never dreamed in his wildest dreams that one of his story characters would change the story more than he could. But it happened. Which gets him thinking, if they have that power, what if I'm just a story character too? As I spoke about, it's this wonderful fourth wall thing, I believe, between, you know, Princess Tutu. It's a story. It's not real life. And yeah, these two here walk off into the sunset and have their own day too. I've kind of spoken about my theories there too. The natural order versus the storyteller. That's a You know, that's a conflict that will continue on and on and on. There's probably something to like the young and old of it all there too. Like the young natural order, the old storyteller. I don't know. I don't know, everybody. And then, yeah, right back to the very beginning, those very similar shots of, like, the lake and whatnot that we saw in the very start of the show. Only this time, Tutu and Fakir together, just chilling, having a day. What's he fishing for? We'll never know. Maybe some fucking story ideas. I don't know. I basically see it like Fakir is now the story warden. He's just going to write normal shit and make sure that the characters can actually have autonomy. Good boy. You superseded Drosselmeyer. Let me try here. Auf Wiedersehen? Sure. Means goodbye in German. Lots and lots of German in this show. Thank you, Tutu. Thank you, Ahiru. You became a goddamn angel. Look at them wings. Lovely piece of art here to end on. And goodbye. See you later, story. And it's too hot in my room officially. I'm going to leave a little bit of this other stuff, wrap-up-y stuff, for a little bit later on. But yeah, good. You did it, show. I probably waffled on about it for a little bit too long, too. A little bit. Anyway, very, very well done. You'll see me in a second for a little bit more wrap-up. And we're back, chat room, and I have to level with you, unfortunately. I have run out of time to do everything that I wanted to do, I guess, which was some tier lists and whatever else there. So in the interest of at least getting something out here, wrap-up-y-ish, I've quickly put together a top 3 episodes, a top 3 side characters, and then we could talk about the main cast and a few other overall things about the show before we wrap up here. Now, I did this the other day on Mushi-Shi, and I know, haha, IMDb ratings are bullshit, who cares, but I thought it was interesting to look at regardless. It's an interesting one to look at. I mean, it's got 2 pretty obvious peaks at the end of either core. That's not uncommon, I would say. A few of those episodes there also feature in my favorites. But I guess they've said that these stretches here kind of at the start of Core 2 was a little bit lower than the rest. I don't agree. I think it's about the same, honestly. Either way, it's fun to see a little bit of consensus before I go off my own and try to do something. But I'm not going to blow anybody's mind. I've got similar favorite episodes, of course. I thought before I went into, I guess, my favorite sections of the show, I should shout out my favorite, or one of my favorite kind of one-off episodes. At least an episode divorced from the end of either core that I thought was really strong and a really good demonstrator early of the show's prowess. I really liked Giselle. I thought that episode was great. Once again, this is like early doors. This was very, very important in setting up what the show is going to be, the dynamics of the main characters, specifically Rue and Ahiru. This is a huge episode for them. This is where I really found a lot of fun digging into the intertextuality stuff. I found that was really rewarding, how closely it kind of matched the story of Giselle that they were pulling from. Just, yeah, even all the way now here at episode 26, I thought that episode 4 here was really damn strong. Now I get a little bit more obvious. This is probably my favorite of these 2, but I kind of put them together, my favorite, because we just get a little bit more Fakir Ahiru, which I do like to see. However, obviously, Swan Lake here has the higher highs. Some of the animation stuff in it is just stellar. It's fantastic. The big old dance-off, Tutu dancing her damn ass off to win the day. It's very fun. You kind of rhyme that with episode 26 now, where we have, you know, just Doc Ahiru dancing her ass off to win the day. We never really stopped dancing. We stayed true to that. Yeah, this one here had the build and the intrigue and the everything as well. There's some really good Rue scenes in this episode for sure. And then for this last one, I'm kind of going to cheat, because if I go down here, it's kind of like Marionette through to Dying Swan. I think that's just the strongest part of the show, I guess I would say. With Marionette, the stuff in the clock world is fantastic. I love reversing the time. I think we did some really, really good direction stuff there. Once again, it's that big reveal about Rue and her origins. I thought that was really well done. Really like Drosselmeyer's role, Edel popping up. It was just great fun. But I mean, these are very recent episodes. You know why I think they're really great. I made a really long video last week about these 2. It's really damn... It's good. It's good television. But yeah, hardly a bad episode in here. Maybe a few that are just a little bit episodic-y and just kind of flow together with the rest. that's the worst thing that you could say about them, really. Now onto some side characters I really liked. Polamoni was one of the ones that came to mind from early in the show. And yeah, we name it here in the text. Unlike the previous bearers of heart shards, Polamoni did not have her heart shard drawn out by Princess Tutu. Instead, it was her husband's encouragement that dispelled her fears and thus drove the heart shard away from her. I thought that was really, really fun, interesting, differentiating factor. Again, it's like, you know, we were building this cycle of 2 episodes and then we kind of break it with her. I just really thought the stuff with her and her husband was, you know, just really nice and wholesome and stuff. Stood out as a point of difference. It's that episode as well where fucking Muto goes apeshit. Yeah, that spins off into Tutu not wanting to be Tutu anymore. Yeah, it's good stuff. Shoutouts Polamoni. Shoutouts that episode. Another good one there. And I mean, he kind of had to be here though, right? Femio. Femio's great. Once again, he's more just a piece to do rude characterization, and they do that stuff really well. That's the big picture purpose of Femio. I think the moment to moment, him just, what would you say, aura farming all over the place, just doing whatever he does. I found it hilarious. It was very, very entertaining. And probably my favorite episodic character ended up being Hermia, in my view. I felt like her character arc just matched up with Tutu's in a very strong way, or Ahiru's, just like, you know, I've put myself into this box as matchmaker. I don't need to do that anymore. I don't need to be this Miss Bottom the Donkey personality. I can be Hermia, and I can deliver my own letter of love to Lysander, my boy. We are in that stretch where Muto's just repetitively just trying to steal people's hearts, and that kind of gets a little bit long in the tooth, but, you know, she really stands out. Just found her really likable. I liked her little story. I liked the ending there, and the statues and whatever. Just good stuff. Intertextual wise, really fun as well with a Midsummer Night's Dream. And yeah, I mean, those are only the episodic characters. I'm not sure I have to say too much about PK, Lily, you know, Neko Sensei, all them. They're great. They're fantastic. Idol, obviously. Idol and Azura, just put them two together. They're also just brilliant. Really, really up there. If I had to say like my 4 or 5 favorite characters in the show, all of those characters would be in it pretty much. I mean, other than the main characters, which are obviously the focus. And they're all obviously fantastic as well. I think I would rank them Ru, then Ahiru, then Fakir, then Muto if I had to rank them personally, but they're all S tier. They're all... It's a show that really focuses on that small, tight-knit cast up the very top of the tree. Not, you know, a few other characters around notwithstanding, Drosselmeyer and Edel on them, they have big roles. But yeah, it really is about those main 4 and their struggles and whatever else. Other than that, stepping out of the show, it's fantastic, I guess. Aesthetically, it's got some great stuff going on music-wise. I think it's a really consistent production too, like across the board. There wasn't really many lulls. We kind of only oscillated upwards for those really, really like peak moments of those cores. We only got like better. We never really got worse in the doldrums. There's a little bit of funny face. Everyone has a funny face every now and again, but that's okay. We'll accept that. And yeah, for a show that isn't HD, I feel like it really stands up visually as well. I didn't have any trouble with my, you know, standard definition copy that I had relative to other older things that I've watched on the channel where it kind of is a little bit of a step down. But unfortunately, we're running out of time here. It's time to close out Tutu. It's very good. If I had to rank it with the other shows I've had on the channel as well, it'd be like easily top half, top quarter maybe, somewhere around there. I don't know. I really need to sit down one day and rank them all. That'd be quite the task. And I know what number 1 is. I think you guys do too. But the rest, I don't know where everything would slot in. I don't know. Anyway, what's next? I don't know. I'm going to be running a poll. That poll will be things that I'll then put under the wheel and spin the wheel. And there'll be something next week for you to watch. If this is public at the moment, you can check Patreon. Maybe it's really up your alley. You never know. Either way, I'm closing out. Thank you for watching Tutu with me. It has been very much fun. So very much fun. And yeah, I'll see you on the flip side for whatever else. Got plenty of other stuff there on the channel. Keep on keeping on. Be awesome, everybody. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.